Life is short, someday comes fast. The older I get, the more convinced I am that experiences are one of the best investments we can make. I'm Marin, and I'm sharing our family's adventures, big and small, to inspire you to make memories of your own. Let's go. When most people think of Indy 500, they think race day, huge crowds, packed parking lots, hours of planning. But what if one of the best ways to experience the Indianapolis Motor Speedway is actually before race day? Today, we're taking our family to Indy 500 practice to find out if it's worth it for families with young kids. We've lived in Indiana for years, but somehow we've never brought our kids to the Indy 500 practice. And honestly, I wasn't sure what to expect. Would they be interested? Would it feel exciting without the actual race? Or would it be one of those parenting ideas that sounds better in theory than reality? Walking into the Speedway, we came across a display of racing flags. Before today, I honestly couldn't have told you what most of them meant. But each one communicates something important to the drivers. Go means go, yellow means caution, white means one more lap remaining, and of course, the checkered flag means the race is over.
Yes.
One thing we appreciated right away, kids get in free with a paid adult ticket. For families, that's pretty significant perk. Practice tickets are affordable to begin with, and not having to buy additional tickets for the kids made it feel so much more accessible. We also found the staff and volunteers incredibly welcoming, as you just saw. Several people offered to help before we even needed it. Sometimes those small interactions shape an experience more than anything else. Then we heard them, actually felt them. The sound is what surprised me the most. You can watch IndyCar racing on television for years and still not understand how powerful these cars feel in person. Every time one passed, you can feel it in your chest. And suddenly, the Speedway didn't feel like a sporting venue. It felt like an experience. Watching from the stands, I found myself realizing how much of racing happens beyond simply driving fast. The race itself is 500 miles long, 200 laps around a 2.5-mile oval. But winning isn't just about speed, it's strategy, fuel, tires, timing, patience, and from a distance, it looks simple. The more you watch, the more you realize it's anything but. Even if you're not a racing fan, it's hard not to appreciate what this place represents. The Indianapolis Motor Speedway opened in 1909. More than a century later, people still make their way here every May. Some families have been coming for generations, grandparents, parents, kids, and eventually grandkids. The cars evolve, the technology changes, but the tradition remains. And in a world that changes constantly, there's something meaningful about that. After spending time in the stands, we headed toward the infield to explore. One thing I didn't fully appreciate before visiting is just how massive the Speedway really is. You can walk for quite a while and still feel like you've barely seen a fraction of it. Honestly, a lot of the day looked exactly like this, watching cars, walking around, finding a new viewing angle, watching more cars, taking in the atmosphere. Nothing dramatic happened. No big surprise.
You can go right through here, this pit road terrace. You can see, you'll be on the other side of the fence. So you can see that area.
And maybe that's what surprised me. Not every memorable family experience needs to be packed with activities. Sometimes being somewhere interesting together is enough.
Yes, the concentration it takes is incredible. Like you said, when to dive in, when to hit that apex, and to hit that mark every time. 218 was Newgarden's last week, right along with a two-time champion.
Because if you don't hit that mark, you might hit something else. On your cars in the draft together.
Fun fact, my husband deserves credit for getting in front of the camera from time to time. He's great at capturing moments live. I'm usually, and prefer, to be behind the scenes, making sure everyone has sunscreen, water, snacks, and knows where we're headed next. Every family has its role, those just happen to be ours.
All right, so we took our kids to practice today, and it's a great way to teach your kids about the Indy 500. Good way to get them some exposure without, one, it being too hot, or two, there being 250,000 people here. So super calm, relaxed, but a great experience for the kids. Would definitely recommend taking them to a practice day.
A great crowd of young folks at the South Grand Prix this weekend, and we're just spend the day in May.
Can't beat it. All right, up to speed we go. 34 minutes remaining. Day one.
6 cars on the racetrack, but a bunch more headed that way. And it's going to get busy here with
Fastest guy in the draft.
Before leaving, we made our way back to where we started for one last look. By this point, everything felt different. The sounds were familiar, the track made more sense, the speed somehow seemed even faster. What started as curiosity turned into appreciation. One thing I really liked about practice is that it captures much of what makes the Indy 500 special without some of the challenges that come with race day. The crowds were non-existent and manageable. Parking was straightforward. Nothing felt rushed. For families with younger kids, that matters a lot. There's one classic that feels like the perfect way to end a day at the Speedway: Mug-n-Bun. This Indianapolis area drive-in has been serving root beer, burgers, and fried favorites since the 1960s. It's one of those places that locals grow up visiting and keep coming back to for decades. We decided to do what any reasonable family would do and order a little bit of everything so we could sample it all. If you like fried food, it's pretty hard to go wrong here, although our waistlines might have a different opinion. One thing that stood out was the staff. Several had worked here for years and were genuinely thankful, welcoming, and happy to share recommendations and stories. You'll actually hear one of them walking us through everything we ordered in this video. The kind of place where food is only part of the experience. Tradition does the heavy lifting, and honestly, that's part of the charm.
Here's your cauliflower. This one right here is your poppers. I can't see it up close. Yep, that's your poppers. Okay, awesome.
So was Indy 500 practice worth it for a family with young kids? For us, absolutely. Not because every moment was exciting, not because it was a perfect day, but because it was easy, affordable, interesting, and different from our normal routine. The older I get, the more I realize many of our favorite memories begin the same way. Someone simply decides to go. Today, that meant spending a few hours at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, a place that's been bringing people together for generations. And honestly, I can see why. Take the trip.